Well, hello, school counselors and school counselors to be. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. And today we're getting ready to get into another Talk It Out Week review, where I'm going to be sharing with you guys the ins and outs of everything that I did this week, from trainings to 504s to individual counseling, small groups, guidance lessons, all that and above. And so I'm excited to be getting into this week with you guys, and hopefully you are too. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a video. Okay, you guys, let's get into it. So you guys, this week was actually a short week for me. I only worked Monday through Wednesday this week because Thursday and Friday I have to go out of town. We actually had a death in the family, and so I had to go ahead and leave for that. But I did want to make sure that I at least did this and upload this for you guys. But nonetheless, even though it was 3 days, I was able to get some things done. I have plenty of things to talk to you guys about. So Monday, I actually did an observation on a student. I had actually a teacher that reached out to me because there was a student that, just showed frustration when he couldn't understand the teacher and what she was doing, or if he couldn't see the work. And so he would like scribble on things. And so instead of going straight into individual counseling and kind of just, bringing him to my room and just counseling him, I first wanted to observe him this week. And so that's what I did. And I actually observed him at different times of the day. And the reason why I did this is because, how a child might act in the morning might be totally different of how they would act in the afternoon. So it's really good when you are observing students, is just kind of getting an overall view of how they act throughout the day, if you can. Unless you know specifically that this child acts a certain way at a certain time, then you might just have to stick to that one time of the day that you're observing him. But as far as for this student, I wanted to see how he acted the whole day, so I just came at different times. I must say this: when you are observing a student, you do want to make sure that you are very discreet and kind of like you're on a fly on the wall, because the minute that student knows that you're watching them, or if you tell them that you're coming to observe them, they're going to act totally different most of the time, because they know that you are watching them. So like for instance, with this student, I just sat all the way in the back. And I kind of just watched him from a distance. And there was times where I did sit like directly behind him, but I did it in such a way to where it wouldn't throw him off as far as him knowing that I was looking at him. So I just was happy to be able to go into the classroom and just see how he would react in the classroom with students and his teacher. So I was able to do that, and I actually did that Monday, Tuesday, and I did not get a chance to do it on Wednesday, but I was able to take some really good notes. And I actually had to make an observation like form, because I realized I did not have an observation form. And so I wanted to just go ahead and make one up really quick on Google Forms, where I use Google Slides. And I just put that together so that I can easily write notes and fill in different things as I was observing him. So I was able to do that. And I also worked on the child abuse form. So I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I'm the child abuse coordinator at the school. And because this is a new position, there were still some things that they had to kind of get fixed in how they would like us to go about documenting it. And so they finally was able to get that form done. And so I was able to at least put everything in that I reported. What was it? I think it was last week where I reported child abuse. And so that's what I did. And I just did some individual counseling check-ins. I also went into one of the classrooms because the actual teacher was not there. And so there was a substitute there. So I had just checked in and just kind of just was there for that substitute any way that I can. be there for them. And so that's what I was able to do Monday. But it was just really filled with just doing check-ins, individual counseling, and just trying to be there for the teachers as much as I could. Now, Tuesday, I actually had to have a meeting with my principal and a teacher assistant because there was a student that reported to their parents that they just wasn't having a good time at school. And so the parents actually was talking to my principal about it. And so I had to go in and kind of get some information on that before I checked in with that particular student. But after that, I was able to check in with that student, kind of just get her ideas of what was going on. Why does she not, like being at school? What does she not like about it? And so that was a really good individual counseling session. So that's what I did on Tuesday. I also observed that same student that I observed on Monday. I observed them on Tuesday at different times. And I tried to go in about 10:15 is when I tried to go in because there was just a lot of things going in the morning. We have something called Walk to Learn, and it's basically RTI. And so I just wanted to go at a time where I was able to see him in a whole group setting instead of just in individual small groups. So I don't think I've ever said this before on my channel, but one of my non-school counseling tasks that I do is I have lunch duty. And so on my lunch duty, I'm able to be in the lunchroom with all of the first graders. And let me tell you guys, I really do enjoy lunch duty because I'm just able to build relationships with, my students. And that's just the best. I mean, being able to talk to them and kind of just, see what they like, what they don't like, and just, like I said, build a relationship. That's when it's just, so I love being able to do that during lunch duty. However, I have not been able to spend time with my second graders and neither my kindergartners as much as far as, in that lunch setting. So I was very intentional on Tuesday about staying in the cafeteria for second grade lunch, just so that I can just talk to them, see how they were doing, make connections with new students that have been there. And so that was really good. And I actually stayed in there for like 25 minutes, just laughing, talking, and just seeing what they like, what they don't like. And so I really enjoyed that and being able to do that. Also, I had to do a counseling session with a student. The student got mad and decided to draw on her pants as well as drawing all over the table. And so I had to talk to her instead of her going straight to the principal's office. I just feel like, hey, this is her first time doing it. Let's give her a warning. Like, let me first talk to her and help her make better decisions. And this student was actually in kindergarten. And so I was able to talk to her and kind of we work together to come up with better ways that she could have dealt with that situation. And I think it's so important, especially, as a school counselor and being that voice for the student, though that student may have caused it upon themselves, it's just still advocating for that student and just trying to, be that voice, and that's why in this case, some things don't always have to go straight to the principal about. Some things you might just need to come straight to the school counselor. Let's talk about it and let's try to come up with a better way that we could make the situation better and see if you apply that. And hopefully that child won't do it again. But however, I think it's important to be that voice and that advocate for that student and just, believe in second chances. It can be so easy, especially when you're dealing with students with behavior issues, that, it can be easy to not see the good come out of them. But as school counselors, we have to be optimistic. We have to be, see the good in students no matter how tough that student may be. But we still should see the good in our students. So I was able to do that Tuesday. On Wednesday, I was intentional about going to breakfast with the kindergarten and pre-K students. So every morning, the kindergarten pre-K students, they first go to the cafeteria to eat breakfast. And I have not been able to do that. So Wednesday, I really wanted to make sure that I did that. And you guys, I once again enjoyed it. I was able to build relationships, talk to them, see how they were doing. And so that's what I did that morning. I also checked in with that student that did not make that good choice on Tuesday. And that student wrote all over the desk in her pants. And so I was able to check in with her just to kind of ground her that this is a new day and you're going to have a great day. I also visited the library. She had a class in there, and so I just kind of wanted to just see how the kids were doing in there. And I actually had an issue that came up between two students. One threatened the other, and the one student that felt threatened told their guardian, and the guardian reached out to us. And so I had to deal with that issue, and thank God we were able to get it resolved. And I had to also make sure that I called the parents to let them know that it is resolved. And I tell you this, when it comes down to situations like that, especially when you are calling the parent that the child is the one that made the threat, it can be, sometimes those parents can get on the defense, but I always say just remain calm and just stick to the facts. And letting them know, hey, this is what happened. This is how it happened. This is what your child said. And so even it got to the point where that particular parent was, like, I don't see why you would call and why that individual has a warning. And so it's just very important to just remain calm and just letting them know that your best interest is for both of the children. When you remain calm and you're letting them know that your interest is for both of the children, soon, eventually, they will calm down. And if they don't, that is okay. Just know that you are doing the job that is necessary. So that is all of what I did this week. Like I said before, I actually had to leave Thursday and Friday because I had to go out of town. And so with that being said, even though it was a short week, the week was filled with a lot of things to get done and to do. So thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. I thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you next week. Bye.